So we just got a bunch of news for college football 25 Dynasty Mode. A lot of the stuff that I'm finding is on the Reddit NCAA football series page on Reddit. Be sure you guys check that out. There's a lot of news that gets leaked on there. But we recently got something today all about Dynasty. And some of it's bad news, some of it's pretty good news. If you guys are new right here, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Throw a like on the video if you guys are enjoying the EA Sports College Football 25 content. We're almost at 3,000 subscribers. Just a few subscribers away. Let's hit it before the next video. Okay, so here we are on the Reddit page for NCAA football series. We have a lot of leaks on here for the people that are out there that have played the game already. A lot of people are giving us a lot of really good news. They're letting us know that the game is a lot smoother. It definitely plays a lot quicker. Eric Rayweather made a whole video on how his experience was with the game, and he made a lot of really good points. So be sure to check all that out. The one that we're going to talk about today is all Dynasty news via The Athletic. All of these things right here are stuff that we got for Dynasty Mode. Okay, so I'm currently being flashbang right now, but it's okay. We're having a good time. All right, so the first thing here says you will not be able to edit the attributes of real life players in the rosters. You can edit created players, but there supposedly will be blocks to keep you from making a player like Archie Manning. So basically you can't edit players like you could in previous NCAA games. The thing that sucks here is you can't edit the names. I don't really care about the attributes. I care about the names because there are a lot of players out there that did not opt into the game. I'm sure we're gonna have players in the future that break out and they may not opt into the game. It also says here there are a handful of players that want to be in the game, but they don't know how to opt in. So I'm assuming at some point before the game comes out, they will get a hold of these guys. But there are some guys out there like Archie Manning that just don't want to be in the game. I don't know why. They're just making it tough for us. Unfortunately, we won't be able to edit the guys' names. It probably will just be, you know, quarterback number, whatever he is. All right, next one right here. Custom conferences are back. Gamers can move schools around and put up to 20 teams in a conference. We cannot create new conferences. Okay, that kind of stinks. But they can build conferences up like the Pac-12 if they would like. They can choose the number of league games that conferences play and change the location of the conference championship games. Generic FCS directional programs are in the game, but no real FCS schools are in the game. Okay, that's kind of how NCAA was. You had FCS programs, but you couldn't choose to play with them. They weren't real schools either. Custom conferences right here, it looks like you can customize any conference as much as you want, but you just can't create a new one. All right, next one's for coaching. As a Dynasty coach, you give yourself a backstory as a motivator, recruiter, or tactician. It looks like right here, the skill trees are going to be coming back. I personally love the skill trees for NCAA 14, and I hope they're very, very similar for College Football 25. You can grow the skills, but you can't be great at everything. Okay, obviously, choosing the archetype is going to be your strength, and you can't just be all around great. That's fine. I like that. In NCAA 14, you pretty much could like max out your coach and he'd be really good at everything. You can also manage your coordinators and have the opportunity to fire them after the season and poach them and poach new ones from other schools. So interesting. Archetypes, we kind of have that in Madden. Motivator, recruiter, or tactician. I'll tell you what, right now, I'm going for recruiter 100%. I feel like if you're choosing those really bad schools, those one-star schools, recruiter is going to be perfect for that, to get some more people to come to your team. But you'll have 11 points to improve that skill tree and maybe make your recruiting better, your motivating better, tactician, all that stuff. Okay, big one right here, recruiting. The recruiting process is deeper than ever. Each class includes 4,000 prospects. 4,000 prospects, that is insane, including athletes. So athletes is coming back. Not familiar with that, what athletes is. That is a player that doesn't have a designated position. He can play multiple positions, kind of like a Travis Hunter kind of thing. You'll have an athlete out there that he can play wide receiver, but he can also play corner as well, and you have to decide which one you want him to play. You cannot create prospects. That is removed from the game. Those were in NCAA games, but let's be honest, I never really created a whole lot of prospects. That's not too bad. Coaches have a certain number of hours to commit each week to scouting and recruiting, so that's pretty similar to what we've had before. And a team can sign up to 35 players. I think that's what the number was before. They can encourage players to transfer to bring the roster under 85. Scholarships, which essentially works like cutting them because they can't decline it. Some pipelines have narrowed to include cities like Atlanta. Some recruits have deal breakers, meaning There are simply certain things that 5-star recruits want that smaller schools cannot meet. Again, this is another thing that was in previous games. There were deal breakers out there. Some prospects preferred to be closer to home. If you were a school that was on the other side of the country, you probably weren't going to get that prospect. These recruits are going to have certain needs that need to be met for them to come to your school. Next one, this is a big one. I'm actually surprised by this one. Not too big of an L, but I'm not a big fan of it. NIL will not be in Dynasty mode. I thought this was going to be a part of the game. It kind of still is, though. It says right here, brand exposure has replaced TV exposure and serves as the NIL stand-in during recruit pitches. So brand exposure is replacing the NIL pretty much. So NIL kind of is in the game. It's just being used as something else. Next, for recruiting visits can be fashioned specific to what a player wants. Playing time is one of his biggest motivations. He can sit in a position meeting room. Inviting multiple quarterbacks to visit on the same weekend could hurt you. There is risk and reward to certain weekends. A win against a bad opponent won't help you as much, and a loss could hurt your standing. A win against a good team will help. Okay, so you got to really strategize how you're working your visits. I know in the previous NCAA games, you kind of just, I don't know, there wasn't a whole lot of thought that went into recruiting. So you're going to have to look at the players' motivations. What's important to them? How are you going to make this visit valuable to that prospect? It looks like if your team has position needs for like quarterback or something like that, and you invite a bunch of different quarterbacks, that can hurt the morale for that player because you're bringing in a bunch of players at the same position. I like that. That's cool. So if you have a need for a certain position, you want to look at certain guys, you got to spread out those visits so they're not all coming in at the same time. All right, this next one is about the transfer portal. It's kind of long, so I'll just kind of summarize it for you. At the end of each season, you're going to have time to talk to your recruits and time to talk to transfers that want to come to your school. Kind of similar to how it was for NCAA. The big one right here, it says at the end of the season, coaches will be faced with more players than ever who want to go to the NFL or transfer for reasons such as playing style or pro potential, and given the chance to persuade them to stay. So at the end of your season, you'll have some guys that want to transfer. You'll have some guys that want to enter the draft. If they're eligible to play another year, you can try to persuade them to stay, and same with transfers as well. Exporting draft classes. This is a big one. To answer a question I receive quite a bit, you cannot export college football 25 Dynasty draft classes into Madden. So the days of creating draft classes in Madden have to continue. We cannot just export them and transfer them over to Madden. That's kind of unfortunate. The reason they can't do that is because EA only has players licensed for their college likeness, not their NFL likeness. They do state right here at the bottom right there, it says you can, however, export your Road to Glory player to Superstar mode in Madden. So this is something that a lot of us did in the NCAA games. If you start a Road to Glory player, you finish out his career in college, you can transfer him over into the Superstar mode in Madden. I think the Road to Glory game mode is going to be pretty cool. It's going to be better than it ever has. There's going to be a lot more detail involved, and I think that's going to kind of force them to make Superstar mode a little more interesting than it was last year. So yeah, guys, those are some leaks that we got for Dynasty mode. Again, be sure to check out this page on Reddit. There's a lot of information on here, especially right now. It's heating up. You know, we're getting close to this game, and we're getting a lot of really good news on this game, and it's just creating a lot of hype, and I cannot wait. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think down below in the comments. Let me know if I missed anything, and again, subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 3K subscribers. Let's be at 3K subscribers by the time I make another video. I'm out of here, boys. Peace.